Well folks, we're here at the Pakenham Lake. Just happens to be the only lake that is in my 5 kilometre circle because Melbourne is in lockdown and we're only allowed to travel 5 k's from home. But fortunately I have at least one stretch of water in my circle. In fact, we're only about 1 kilometre from home. This is the Pakenham Lake, man-made lake. Don't know how big it is, but it's about 1.3 kilometres to walk around the lake, and walked around this lake many hundreds of times over the years we've been in Pakenham. But today we're going to get the kayak out. We've got it set up over there and we're going to see if we can get it on the water. We're in interesting times right now. Everything seems a bit of a mess in the world. We've got the latest situation in Afghanistan. We've got trouble on every side wherever we look. We've got this virus that is unrelenting and never seems to let go or come to an end. And there seems to be just a complexity of issues, and times seem to be getting dark. Maybe the book of the Bible for these times, you could do a lot worse than Habakkuk. Habakkuk's different. He was a prophet, but he's different to all the other prophets in the Bible because the book of Habakkuk is not a message from God to his people through a prophet. It's rather a conversation between Habakkuk and God. And Habakkuk begins the book by crying out to God he says something like this: "How long do I call out to you, but you don't listen? You don't do anything." I guess we could feel a little bit like that at times, couldn't we? That we call out to God, he doesn't seem to listen, our prayers don't seem to work, nothing makes a difference. Evil gets worse and everything looks a lot blacker. I guess many of us would feel that it's not very spiritual to come to God with complaints, with letting him know that there's things wrong in the world that he should fix, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. But that's what Habakkuk did. I think it's all right to come to God with complaints, but when things are up against you, come to God and then tell him how you feel. I think he's big enough to handle it. But anyway, Habakkuk answered. God answered Habakkuk, and he said, "Look, I'll let you in on a bit of an insight to what I'm doing here. I'm going to raise up the Babylonians, and they're going to come and invade, and they're going to be my instrument to fix this current problem that you're talking about." But Habakkuk wasn't satisfied because he said, "God, you can't do that." You ever told God what he can't do? He said, "You can't do that because they're worse than us. How can you use evil to punish your people? I mean, you're holy. You can't use someone who's evil like the Babylonians." And Habakkuk was not happy with his answer, but he said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wait until you give me a proper answer," because the answer he got was unacceptable. I don't know how long he waited, but God did answer him and gave him quite a long discourse of what was happening. But in the midst of that discourse, there's two things that come out. He said, "Habakkuk, I want you to know that there's a day coming when the glory of the Lord will cover the earth like the waters cover the sea. You'll see righteousness, you'll see peace, you'll see love, you'll see joy everywhere, and it'll be all you see. The glory of the Lord will cover the earth. But that day is not this day." And then he said, "But until that day, the just shall live by faith." In other words, You've got to live your life in the midst of uncertainty, knowing that I am ultimately in control and that I've got it all worked out. And that ultimately God will have his day and evil will be vanquished, and there will come a day when the glory of the Lord covers the earth as the waters cover the sea. But until that day, what do? We live by faith. Faith is action. We keep going, we keep doing, we keep praying, we keep praising, we keep believing, we keep reading the word, we keep reaching out to people who are lost. And we keep doing that because faith is all about action. And God requires faith. He's looking for faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. So maybe at this time when we're locked down and we're unable to do much and we're feeling that the world is a mess, hold on to that promise that God has not given up. God has not vanquished. God has not relinquished the throne. He's still very much in control, and he will put every wrong right, and there will be a day very soon when the glory of the Lord covers the earth like the waters cover the sea. So let's hold on to that and be encouraged and see the bigger picture, see it from God's perspective and not ours. Anyway, just a few thoughts while I'm out here on the water today, but it's great to be out, great to be back out in the water, great to be here, even if it's just a little lake, only a kilometre from home, it's on the water, and that's a good thing. So thanks for joining me today, folks. God bless. Oh, just an afterthought. You know how that book finishes up, the book of Habakkuk? Habakkuk comes out with a song, and he begins to dance and to spin around for joy, and he writes those beautiful words that we sang in a chorus many years ago. Though the fig tree does not blossom and there be no fruit on the vine, though the produce of the olive fail and the flocks yield the herds, whatever it says, that there's no flocks, no herds, no produce coming in, everything's black. He said, even though all of this is happening, yet will I rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation, for God the Lord is my strength. And that's a good addendum, isn't it, to the whole little book of Habakkuk. It's only 3 chapters. Dig it out and read it sometime. And it certainly is the book for these times.